Having access to live donor liver transplant programs has made a very big difference to my patients, and personally it has changed my practice patterns in a very substantial way. It decreases their wait time, it decreases the risk of mortality, and substantially increases their quality of life because they can get access to a transplant much sooner than they would otherwise.
So typically with cadaveric transplant, you have to wait till patients are incredibly sick. And most of these patients become very weak and sometimes cannot be transplanted.
Liver disease has the ability to have you just drop off a precipice. You could be someone who has a MELD of 9 today and have a MELD of 30 tomorrow, just by catching a walking pneumonia or something of that sort. So the benefit of living donor liver transplantation is the idea that, you develop symptoms. We know that those things are unlikely to get better over time and are likely to get worse, and you have the opportunity to intervene now rather than waiting until you're very ill.
There is good research now showing that individuals that have a low MELD sodium score may actually have a fairly high mortality on the wait list. Some studies are suggesting that number may be as high as 25%.
If you stay on the list longer and you become sarcopenic, you lose your muscle mass, you lose the ability to move, so you lose your mobility. You have continued hospitalizations again and again, where each and every time I think not only does your quality of life go down, but essentially you come out of the hospital less well than you were the hospitalization before that. Those are the long-term ramifications.
Most of our patients that are awaiting for the traditional cadaveric transplant, have their phones with them. They're waiting for that call, and sometimes it takes weeks, months, if not years until they finally get it. So I think there's a whole other added stress that live donor can, allay.
It only takes one instance where you see your patient who is at a MELD of 14, has a fairly poor quality of life, and is sitting on the deceased donor transplant list, decompensate in one hospitalization and die during that hospitalization before you see living donor transplantation as really a life-changing opportunity, not just for patients, but also for providers.